Why, hello there. Hi, folks. How are ya? Welcome to the Wednesday show number 252 on the 23rd of June, 2021, here in the room known as Away, in the house known as Odoroki, in an undisclosed location in San Antonio, Texas, where it's kind of hot out there. Not real hot, but kind of hot by Texas standards. I also have a much better perspective on hot because I now have family living in Arizona, where it is really stinking hot because they live in a desert. Oh well. So today I decided to play a couple of songs that, assuming I get booked for Steampunk November, which I'm hoping to find out that I do, will be very topical for them, but also fun for everybody at the other places, because I've noticed that if there was a Venn diagram, there'd be a lot of overlap. I am turning the wrong key in an attempt to tune this string. A lot of overlap between Steampunk and Faire and comics and games, and it's basically would be like almost a bullseye, really, when you get right down to it. So what we'll do is we'll start off with a song that I wrote called Underfunded Steampunk Blues, because the biggest problem most steampunks have is funding. Yep. Venn diagram. Be one with the diagram. Well, I got me an ornithopter, baby, but it's missing a few gears. I said I got me an ornithopter, mama, but it's missing a few gears. I'm gonna get that sucker flying, but it just might take a couple years. I got me an army surplus airship, mama, but the rigging's kinda torn. I've got me an army surplus airship, mama, but the rigging's kinda torn. I've been looking for parts for it, but it was manufactured years before I was born. I got them low budget, underfunded steampunk blues. I'd have an army of fanatical minions, mama, but I can't afford the union dues. It's hard to take over the world when you can barely afford your own shoes. Bridge. Broken bridge. I got them low budget, underfunded steampunk blues. I'd have an army of fanatical millions, mama, but I can't afford the union dues. I'd like to take over the world, but first I gotta pay all these bills. You know how expensive cogwheels are? There we go. So yeah, I wrote like 2 steampunk songs in rapid succession, this being one of them. Burning Bridge, yes, clearly. I play the bridge like a burn. There was a great turn of phrase that's Spider Robinson did in one of his Callahan songs. We played that bridge and burned it down behind us. I like that. Now, this next song is a airship shanty. Well, it's an airship song, and I think it's technically a foxhole song. It's not really a song that you sing when you're doing things. This is when you're down below getting drunk because you no longer have to do things for another 8 hours. And that is a little bit of random seafaring lore. But it is, in fact, one that I came up with when I was going through a list of things that I was supposed to do. At my day job, gotta do this, gotta do this, gotta do this, gotta do this, and then we'll steal their socks. What? And then we'll steal their socks. Now I have to write a song. So I wound up writing a steampunk airship sock-stealing sea shanty in the traditional mode. It is, of course, the song known as Sock Pirates. And initially, it began in the key of A. And then I thought, that's not bad, but what if I do it in A minor? Ooh, that sounds more like R to me. I don't know, that just sounds piratey. That's R. A major is more like E. R. E. R. E. R. E. That's not the song, that's just me screwing around. All right, let's do it. Come listen to me, tell me hearties, heed well to make call. We'll launch our ships and stealthily we'll glide over the wall. We'll land as soft as feathers and we'll deftly pick their locks. We'll pounce upon our prey, me boys, and then we'll steal their socks. Sock pirates in dirigibles, the sky be where we roam. Just looking for a decent pair without a holy toe. Sock pirates in the skies, me boys, the clouds be where we roam. We'd all turn on as sailors if we just could make our own. The city watch, they know our ship, each one does know our name. They stalk down us poor sailors, and upon us heap their shame. We'd ransack every port and town for hosiery we adore. 'Tis not so much a fetish, more a way of keeping score. Sock pirates in dirigibles, the sky be where we roam. Just looking for a decent pair without a holy toe. Sock pirates in the clouds, me boys, the skies be where we roam. We'd all turned on as sailors if we just could make our own. We'd almost had our fill, me lads, but we made one stop more. Accosted a fair maiden, coming out of the yarn store. This plucky lass, she was quite brave, she did not flinch a bit. She glared us down defiantly and taught us how to knit. Which actually isn't that hard. You just gotta keep track of a lot of things. It's pretty cool, and you can come up with some really neat stuff. Sock pirates of the sky no more, no longer do we roam. We've all turned on as sailors who know how to turn a toe. Sock pirates in the clouds no more, we've settled down at home. We've all turned on as seamen now that we can make our own. Yar. All right. How long can I hold out that delay between doing that last chord and doing a lot, actually, quite a bit. I have pitched to Steampunk November. I understand that they were undergoing some changes with their website. I have begged and groveled and pleaded, and hopefully they'll bring me on board. I'm also doing some work to find more places, venues in which I can play and sing and do this goofiness. that are, oh, how shall I put this delicately, indoors. Conventions. There are conventions. We are, in fact, in the middle of Texas. Well, we're in the south part of the middle of Texas. And Austin is not too far away, and there's a startling number of conventions that happen in the San Antonio area that are of the science fiction fantasy fandom, geek, nerd, doofus, Venn diagram, which is actually more of a spiral in that case. And I have begun to pitch too many of them. And there is at least one positive indicator on the horizon, which means that one of the first conventions I will perform at that is less than 3 hours drive away, maybe on the over there, off on the horizon somewhere. I was going to find another way to say horizon, but you can't. There's no real good way for saying it other than horizon, which is weird, but there it is. Sock Pirates a la mode. Con queso. With cheese. But, the next song I am doing has nothing to do with the other two songs. So that saves time, because sometimes segues are just hard. This is actually a filk that I inadvertently wrote on the Rio Grande River, yes. Well, no, actually, I'm not going to be on the Rio Grande for this one. San Antonio is actually startlingly, it's about 3 hours from the coast if you head south. If you head towards the Rio Grande River, you got to go at least 3 hours before you get close to the Rio Grande. And if you want to go to El Paso, you are basically taking an entire freaking day. Because Texas is an 8 hours drive from Texas. Welcome to Texas. The next song, though, is one that I started writing as a filk. And it's a filk on one of my favorite David Bowie songs. But actually, the version that I do, the sun is riz, the sun is set, the sun is in my eye, the sun is not getting very wet. Is actually more of a cover of another band's cover of this song. So it's a filk of a cover of a cover. And the song that it's a cover of is The Man Who Sold the World. And the filk is actually of a cover of that song that was done by Nirvana. And when I heard that one, it's like, okay, I don't have the production team that David Bowie had at any time, but I do have the production team to do roughly what Nirvana did, but with my own words, and that's where we are. So. I met him at the fair. We spoke of where and when. Although he was not there, he comped me as a friend, which came as some surprise. My act never caught his eye. I thought he'd driven home a long, long time ago. Oh no, not me. I'll never change my clothes. Your face to face with the man who lives at Faire. I laughed and shook his hand and drank from his own flask. Went back to my homeland, and I knew what I should have asked. Gaze to stare at all the folks at Faire. We should have driven home a long, long time ago. Oh no, that was weird. Not us. We never change our clothes. Your face to face with the folks who live at Faire. Oh no, not me. I never change my clothes. Your face to face with a man who lives at Faire. That riff nailed me, and I can tell you why that riff nailed me. It is because of an incorrectly applied manicure. I tend to pluck the strings with the pads of my fingers or with my thumb. And it was catching on the corner of my thumbnail. And I tried to do it with my fingers, and that didn't work either. But that's okay. So far, I am ahead of that song on points. And I think that's okay enough. And now we come, my friends, to the moment you all been waiting for. That's right, the final song in this today's somewhat steampunky, somewhat Faire related Tobias the Adequate Troubadork show. Those of you watching live and those of you who are watching on I Need to Manicure My Strings. Yeah, pretty much. Those who are watching at home and those who are watching live and on reruns, because I am big in syndication. And this is a song that I wrote. This is a song that I wrote. I was trying to write when I wrote Troubadork Ballad. All I want is to be the most important person at the fair. Because I have enough people calling me this particular word, B-A-R-D, and I have resisted it vigorously, almost violently, in fact, because, well, I don't think I'm qualified. Many people have made arguments to the contrary, and I'm beginning to bend that way because I'm beginning to get old enough that I can stack up enough hubris. Not quite. So this is, in fact, Song of the Bard, B-A-R-R-E-D. Imposter syndrome. I don't think I'm good enough to have imposter syndrome. Just because I write myself some songs, some folks think I'm a bard. But writing songs is really fun, it's really not that hard. I call myself the Troubadork. That B word has me jarred, because while I may not be a bard, I've certainly been barred. I've been barred from ships and taverns, I've been barred from pubs and clubs, I've been barred from village fairs, they even took my ticket stubs. I've been barred from local jam sessions, been all but feathered and tarred, and to make the matters worse, from all the bars I have been barred. Hootenannies will not have me, nor will any open mic. I can play whatever song I choose, but nowhere that I'd like. People want me to pay for my sins, but music should be free. And while I can play where I please, no place is pleased with me. I've been barred from ships and taverns, I've been barred from pubs and clubs, I've been barred from village fairs, they even took my ticket stubs. I've been barred from local jam sessions, been all but feathered and tarred, and to make the matters worse, from all the bars I have been barred. I may be a humble poetaster, a poet not so good. I just want to do my little songs like any sane man would. But the people, when they hear my stuff, react with low regard, just because they say my music left them emotionally scarred. I do say don't drink while I'm doing it. The current record for passing beverage through your nose on one song is 5 times. I've been barred from ships and taverns, I've been barred from pubs and clubs, I've been barred from village fairs, they even took my ticket stubs. I've been barred from local jam sessions, been all but feathered and tarred, and to make the matters worse, from all the bars I have been barred. So my friends, you now all know my tale, take pity on my plight. Some of us just want to do our stuff and pray it comes out right. If you see your humble Troubadork, please do not run away, as I stagger through this world looking for somewhere I can play. Let's be honest about this, I don't take up a lot of space. I work cheap. I've been barred from ships and taverns, I've been barred from pubs and clubs, I've been barred from village fairs, they even took my ticket stubs. I've been barred from local jam sessions, been all but feathered and tarred, and to make the matters worse, from all the bars, oh yeah! I've been barred from ships and taverns, I've been barred from pubs and clubs, I've been barred from village fairs, they even took my ticket stubs. I've been barred from local jam sessions, been all but feathered and tarred, and to make the matters worse, from all the bars I have been barred. Getting a pick for this part? Olay! Woo! Yes, actually, well, she was sipping out of the same cup and just snarfed a drink 5 times during the course of one song. And my lovely wife Amy was right there saying, don't do it, and she just... It was during Friend from Faire, as a matter of fact. But there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, friends, Romans, countrymen, friends and enemies, people I don't know, and people who know me far too well. We have come to the conclusion of yet another Tobias the Adequate Troubadork non-commute pandemic coping mechanism show with your old pal Tobias sitting here in a room hoping that someone out there is amused by what I do. Because if y'all aren't entertained by what I'm doing, I really have no reason to do this. Let's be honest about it. Thank y'all for hanging out with me again. We will continue to do this in this manner 3 days a week, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at about 4:30 Central Time. And, of course, we will be rebroadcasting this on the Facebook pages for Tobias the Adequate and the Adequate Podcast. And I'm beginning to get smart enough to actually share that as we go, so I don't have to try and be smart about it afterwards. We do, of course, live in a capitalistic society, so we'll just do the things. The things! There's the tip jars. PayPal.me/theadequate. Venmo @theadequate. I want to thank Alicia, Eric, Robert, Rick, Emily, and Miranda. And yes, when I do actually take this out into public again, I intend to be purchasing a very carefully, artistically carved little sign that has a couple of things you can aim a phone at, so you can actually tip me using social distancing or throw money directly at my face. Either way, I'm not proud. I've been vaccinated, and I can take a $5 bill to the face with the best of them. I also want to thank my astonishing Patreon patrons, Jen, Joe, Alexi, Austin, Chris Teppo, Shay, Linda, Ann, Stephen, Rob, Alicia, Relly, BK, Richard, Brian, and Lorene for supporting me through this entire ridiculous pandemic thing that we've been doing. They got a recorded preview of Lucky Dice Blues, which you may also hear the live version of it from yesterday's show. And I think that one is a banger. I'm really happy with it, too. I did not think it was going to be as good, but it's one of those songs that, like Songs of the Bard, it feels good to play, and hopefully feels good to hear. We hope. Fingers crossed. You can find me on the interwebs everywhere. I am everywhere. I'm ubiquitous. You know, if I take I will take a $5 gold coin to the face, but I'd really prefer if you put it in the bucket instead of in my eye socket. I used to be better at catching these things, but at this point, you know, if you're going to throw money at me, if you're going to throw a coin at me, wrap it in several layers of green paper. Preferably green paper with, like, big numbers on it. I am, of course, on theadequate.com is the website. I'm at The Adequate on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. I am Tobias the Adequate, TikTok, and Tumblr. SoundCloud.com/MatthewLaguerre has the majority of my recorded stuff, and that's also where the Lucky Dice demo will go. UnrulyVoices.com has an imprint of Paper Angel Press, is proud and yet in a way embarrassed to release this Artisanal Gibberish Volume 1, the reprint, with its own ISBN number. So I am now official. I exist, baby. And the red stains on the cover are jam. I assure you it's jam. But you can find out more about this at unrulyvoices.com/product/artisanal gibberish, or just look up Artisanal Gibberish wherever you get your paper or electronic books, because we're everywhere at this point. So that's good. THUD Bucket is, of course, death metal you can laugh at, and you can find it on the Facebook as THUD Bucket, and on the YouTube at THUD Bucket, and you can find it on any... If you're at $50 around a brick, you know, I'd almost take that. I'd almost take that. I would like you, however, to deliver the brick by just setting it down on the stage. That would be fantastic. It also acts as a paperweight in stiff breezes. So thank you all very much for hanging out with me again for another one of these shows. Be good to yourselves. Be good to each other. Be kind, be safe, be silly. Be decent. Do your best. Remember to rest. Because, you know, you're the one you got, so take care of you. Because if you're not there, then you wouldn't be watching me, and then I would have absolutely no purpose in existence whatsoever. You folks have been fantastic. I have been Tobias the Adequate, and I thank you for encouraging my behavior. Take care of yourselves. I'll see you next time.